What are your name and pronouns?
My name is Sami, or FaeriSami as I'm known, and my pronouns are they, them, and fleurs.
I love that.
Yeah.
God, also have a very pretty name. I love it so
Oh,
much.
thank you. Thank you very much.
Of course. And how do you identify?
Complicated question. I've identified with a lot of labels throughout the years. Nowadays, I'm mostly just vibing with like the general non-binary label. But yeah, in general, like gender fluid, I suppose, is the closest.
So you're a bit like me then. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely.
I originally went with non-binary because it was easier than,
Yeah.
whatever else. And then gender fluid fits mostly, but some people don't get it. So I just go, yeah, I'm non-binary.
Exactly. Some people don't get it, and like non-binary is popular enough that people will get it as soon as they hear it. So I understand.
It is the easiest blanket term to use. And can you tell me a bit about your VTuber model or persona?
Ooh, my VTuber model. I've had many VTuber models throughout the years that I've been VTubing, but since I make them myself. But currently I am a oil painting come to life. So my model is literally just my real life face in an oil painting that I rigged for VTubing, and that's what I use. And I have wings.
Super creative. I love that. It's so creative.
It was a shitpost, if you can believe that.
It was originally a shitpost, or just
It
like...
was a shitpost, because people, I think it was like, there was some discourse on Twitter. I refuse to call it X. There was discourse there like, oh, VTubers aren't supposed to show their faces. And I was like, you know what? Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you. I don't care what you think.
Exactly. I made my VTuber to look exactly what I look like in real life, like face-wise, so...
Oh, that's wonderful. Then I guess that leads me to my next question. How did you ensure that your model represented you?
Wow, yeah, it's me. It's literally me. It is literally me. If you were to throw like real life me into like a fantasy world, because it's just my face. It's my real body. Everything. It just really reflects basically this idealized version of myself, where I get to have fun with it, and I have wings and sparkles around me, and
that's so cool.
being able to eat my teeth.
Eat my teeth. I love that.
Very free. Mm-hmm.
I think it's a beautiful thing about VTubing is you can just be whatever the heck you want. So it's like, if I want to eat my titties temporarily, I suppose I can. If I want to keep them, make them bigger, make them an odd shape for all I care, like I can do whatever the heck I want.
Live vicariously through it. Slay.
Exactly. God. So then, what drew you to VTubing, and do you find it rewarding?
Well, what drew me to VTubing is that I've always been an artist. I've been drawing since I was maybe 10 years old. I'm 27 now.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, I mean, for me, it's something that I already knew how to do, like making VTuber models, the techniques that you use in that. It's the same techniques you use for cutout animation for like TV. I was working in the animation industry with that exact thing.
So it's like right up your alley.
Yeah, literally. I literally just had to learn a new program, and I was already like churning out VTuber models.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, great. Another way for me to express myself. And maybe I can like start making content too. Which, if you're an artist nowadays on the internet, you have to make content as well. So,
yeah, advertisement and all that.
Just paired nicely.
Oh, yeah. And so then I guess you would say you do find it pretty rewarding at this point.
Oh, absolutely. It really is just like an extension of my creative process right now. I just like embedded itself into my creative process very, very naturally. Absolutely.
I can see why. That's really cool. I didn't know you had that kind of background. That's really sick.
Thanks.
Some people start from with VTuber models. They start from scratch originally, not really much of a background in art. And then some people have, like you, an animation background, and some people have a background in 3D software if they're making 3D models.
Absolutely.
everyone just comes from
there's
such different backgrounds in this community, and I love it.
exactly. That's the beauty of it too. Like how many different paths you can take that they all end up with VTubing, and like how diverse it can be. I really like that. I really love to explore that with VTubing. Like this is also one of the reasons why I made my VTuber model, the current one, an oil painting, because literally there's no limits to what VTubing can be. All you need is to have a virtual avatar. Like what constitutes a virtual avatar? It's so broad. It's so broad. Like doesn't have to be like just an anime character. You can be an oil painting. I'm planning some things. I'm planning some other like different art styles, but I've seen so many different art styles as well.
Yeah,
And
some people choose to like a piece of paper even, and it's like,
exactly,
it works.
That's so cool. It's so cool. It's so unique. I love that.
Yeah, it's nice to get the viewpoint of somebody who's had a lot of different experiences in the community with different art styles and different methods of expressing yourself. So cool.
Yeah.
Can you share with me some of the highs and lows of your journey being transgender or gender nonconforming in the VTubing space?
Ooh, oh man, it's kind of hard because I present really femininely, of course. I have a feminine voice, and I guess the biggest hurdle I go through is like the microaggressions, I suppose. Like people never using my pronouns, basically. I know what I look like, right? But I had, because of this oil painting model, I did like go a little bit viral. And
yeah,
like,
I noticed.
Yeah. People
I think it's how I first found you.
Exactly. Let's go. But yeah, people would just look at me and be like, okay, she, her, all right, moving on. Like they're not gonna go into my profile. It's hard. I know it sounds like nothing, but once there's like 20,000 comments just chipping away at it, at your core, you're like, yeah, man, this hurts. All right, sure. So
it's crazy. It's like, doesn't even matter how you present. If you present masculine, feminine, what you sound like. At the end of the day, the moment you start, saying openly, "This is me. This is who I am, and I'm not going to change that." People will just find an issue with it regardless. It doesn't matter who you are, what you sound like, what you look like. None of it.
Absolutely, it's hard, but yeah.
You're pushing through, and you are trailblazing. You are literally trailblazing.
Let's go.
So I mean, honestly, screw them. They sound like jerks, and I definitely want to let you know. You're unfortunately, but also fortunately, you're not the only one who's had like experiences like this. But the reason I say it's fortunate is because that means you have so many people in the community who understand how you feel and can relate and find comfort in your story. So
absolutely, there's I do take a lot of comfort in the knowing that there are other content creators in general, like trans content creators that go through this as well. I'm not alone. It's good to know I'm not alone. Absolutely.
Oh yeah. I personally, I experience hate, but I always attributed it to, I have a very, I was, born female. I have a very in-between voice, but people often refer to it as gay man. So that gets me a lot of harassment in the communities that I involve myself in, primarily because I involve myself in things like Valorant, which if I'm dropping my link there, then I get people coming to chat and calling me slurs. So
yeah, I've seen some interactions in the Valorant voice chats, and it's rough, honey. Oh dear.
It's like you gotta have a thick skin for that kind of thing. And some people do go their entire VTubing career never getting much hate or any hate at all, and that's awesome. I think it's always a matter of how you put yourself out there, the kind of communities you involve yourself in, and even then, it's just pure luck.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It is important to surround yourself with a community that understands this. Like I have hand curated my community to be as inclusive as it goes. Like my regulars, people coming to my Twitch chats, they're not doing the misgendering, honey. Trust me. The ban hammer, it is swift.
Oh man, the thing is, you're better than me. Truly, you're better than me in that sense. Because when someone, I'm a bit of a doormat, you see, and so when someone disrespects me, I'm like, you can disrespect, me, but don't disrespect the people that I care about. You disrespect my community members, then the ban hammer is swift. But when it's always referring to myself, I am way too slow to stand up for myself. So I aspire to be as swift as you are with that ban hammer.
Oh, I wasn't always like this. Don't worry. You gotta build your thick skin. I was like that as well, but you gotta build it. You build it little by little.
Gotta build up that confidence to swiftly ban them. Ban the haters. Oh, no, I respect you a lot for that, and I'm sure many other people do. So, you're doing awesome. Oh, absolutely. Trust me. And so, well, obviously the lows, can get you down sometimes, but like, what are the highs that keep you coming back to VTubing and keep you going?
My community, 100%. Like the people that do come to my Twitch streams, because I do go viral on like the short platforms, right? Short form content, exactly. But the people that do actually like take their time to come to my streams and hang out with me for more than 30 seconds, they're actually coming in with like a lot of love in their hearts, and they come in, and like there was even like a recent occurrence in my chat where there was like one of my newer regulars. He clocked that he saw my florus pronouns in my bio and was like, oh, what's that? And I just had like a really nice conversation with my community and like explaining to people what newer pronouns are and how it goes. And I even had I even brought up that in my native language, Portuguese, right, because I'm Brazilian, we don't have they them pronouns like English does, where it's a pronoun that was already in the language and you just use it for an individual person. Now we don't have that in Portuguese. There's a lot of things that are gendered that are not in English, and yeah, that includes pronouns. So our version of they them is a neopronoun. So yeah, that
means so neopronouns are pretty integral to other languages that have very gendered language, correct?
Yeah, pretty much.
That makes sense. I did not know that. That's news to me. That explains neopronouns a lot better to me, actually.
Exactly. Yeah. So, if you're going to learn about non-binary identities in Brazil, it comes with learning neopronouns, because a lot of them use these neopronouns.
I think that's awesome though, because then it opens up this avenue of like real gender expression and really being yourself. That's so cool. It's unfortunate really that there's no like, they, them in other languages like Portuguese, but it's cool that you guys have like kind of like gotten past that and found solutions that your language, wouldn't provide
it's
you.
Really nice. Yeah, it feels like we're building culture together,
Yes, exactly.
It really does.
Oh, that's so cool. That's awesome.
We're living our history, like we're building it right here, right now, and it's really cool.
Again, trailblazer. And so, would you say that VTubing has helped you discover more about yourself?
More? I do think so, yeah. I never, growing up queer, fat, in nowhere in the middle of Brazil, it was really hard. So I was really a shy, very, very shy kid. So coming into the internet, like putting my face out there, trying to entertain people, terrifying. I never thought I could do that. And now I go live 3 days a week, and like there's like 50 odd people watching me. What? Hello?
You're really growing too. Let's just keep on growing.
Wild. I could never. So absolutely, VTubing really took me out of my shell in really positive ways. Absolutely.
That's awesome. I'm so glad that you've had like such positive experiences, especially among all the negativity in the space. It's good to hear the positive aspects. So
the positives always outweigh the negatives for me.
Oh, that's good to hear. Yes. It's like, I know not everyone has the same experience, but it's always, it feels a lot better knowing that, especially since the community has become so diverse, to hear that there are still good experiences out there and people really pushing through and breaking the limits.
Absolutely.
It's awesome.
Oh,
it's like
absolutely
one of the best communities to be a part of.
I really do agree, yeah.
And so I guess my last question, what would you say to somebody who was looking at VTubing as an option to being their truest self in content creation? It's a tough question.
It is a tough question.
It gets everyone off guard.
I think I know that for being if you're being a VTuber, you don't need you can show your face, right? But the positives of the VTuber anonymity is that you really have that sandbox to really be able to like be creative without outing yourself. So it's a really nice space for you to, if you're questioning, I think it's a really nice space for you to explore it. Cause yeah, like I remember me trying to explore my gender identity and my sexuality, not having VTubing, right? Because this was years and years before it. And, in a small town, no internet, what are you gonna do?
Oh, you're from small town as well?
Small town, honey, middle of nowhere, Brazil.
Middle of nowhere, Midwest for me.
Yeah, let's go, honey. Yeah. So you know my plight. I'm sure you've been through it.
Oh,
too.
yes. Oh, yeah. I received so much hate. Oh, my God. Even in the city portions of where I'm from, there's so much hate. Oh, my goodness.
It's wild.
It's not easy being yourself.
Oh, my God. Absolutely. So, with VTubing in the internet, you really have the kind of security, like that wall you can put with yourself and still be creative and like explore things. So I think that's really nice.
Yeah, I completely agree. So is there anything else that you want to add that you want people to know about your experiences in the community?
There's enough space for us is what I want to say. Sometimes it feels like not. Sometimes it feels like the VTubing space, there's a lot of drama. We've been there.
Yeah.
But there's a space. There's space for us. Curate your own little corner, and make sure your little corner is nice. And yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah. I'm so sure. I mean, honestly, like putting together your corner and creating that can be very difficult at first, but once you do it, it's so worth it. So worth it.
Absolutely.
I would never go back to like being a face cam streamer and having that limitation on creativity.
I can imagine, babes. I can imagine.
But also getting my makeup ready for like an hour before stream to present myself like the way that people expect me to on stream was so annoying. That on top of having to actually stream and then plan the stream content. Now I can just go behind a model and go, hi.
For real. It's so much easier. I can never imagine having to put makeup on to go live. So
it was terrible.
Like, two clicks, VTube Studio. Oop, makeup, hair on.
Exactly. It's all drawn on already.
It's perfect.